What's up, you guys? It's Shazane, and we are back with another trading video. And today I want to talk about how I made $731 in just 27 seconds on this play, SNGX. Okay, so we're just gonna jump right into it. I every morning at 8 I get up and I go to this market watch area of my Thinkorswim platform and find stocks that are gapping up. And this is one that I liked because you zoom in, as you can see here, yesterday it closed at around $2, and today it was up to like no, sorry, that's really wrong, $2.34. So that is like a 50, or no, not sorry, what shit am I saying? That is a 15% gain, which is something you want to see. You don't want the gap up to be huge. You don't want it to be all the way up here. You don't want anything really, I would say, over 50%. Then on top of that, another thing you want to look for is to sort of make sure that the gap up holds. Okay, so if it came to like $2.30 and then it went back down to $2, that's probably something that you wouldn't really want to play in the day. But this sort of held, it didn't really go below 214 or 215. So that was a good sign. And right before market open, actually had this little push through. It broke the old pre-market high and made a new one, so $2.40. And these plays, you sort of want to play the break of the pre-market high. So 240 is where I look to get in. I actually got filled at like 246 because at that point there was so much volume coming in that like I just, by the time I clicked it, the price was at 246. So one thing that so these plays, these pre-market gap ups, a lot of times actually tend to fail. These criteria that I just said, make sure the gap up's not too high, and then make sure it holds that gap up. They can help you look for it, but at the same time, they're not going to work all the time. One thing you definitely want to make sure that like volume is coming into the play before you get into it, and then on top of that, you also want to sort of make sure markets are like really trendy. So this sort of pattern where the gap up turns into a gap and go has been happening for the past like week or 2 weeks. So one thing to note is that markets are very trendy, so patterns that sort of appear will sort of repeat themselves in the same stock or in different stocks, and you can kind of like find and identify and play those patterns over and over again until I guess like traders just get bored and they want like to do a new pattern, and they're like, yeah, let's do like a bull flag pattern now, and today we're gonna do a pre-market gap and go pattern. Next week we're going to be doing like a bull flag pattern, and the day after that we're going to be doing like U shapes. I don't know why it changes like that. It just sort of does, and so it depends on a lot of things. Like recently with like RKDA, ZSAN, INNT, they were all like priced about the same, and they were all sort of following the same like strategy that caused them to sort of run up like 200-300%. I think maybe even 400-500%. A couple of them. So day trading is a lot about being able to identify these sort of trends and patterns and hop onto them while they're still hot, and then being able to sort of realize when they're dying out and adapt to new patterns that traders are using for whatever time period that they do. So just a little about my trade. I hopped in at 246, like I said, and that was in the first minute, okay? And I sold at 279 just because I saw that I was up like $700. I was like, you know what, this is great. I'm gonna lock in what I have, and it was actually really depressing because I actually, if you can see here, I didn't even play the majority of the move. It actually ended up going to 340, 354, and the sad thing is, like the saddest thing, like think about the saddest thing that's ever happened to you, and now listen to this, okay? I sold my position at $2.79, and I kid you not, 1 second later, this thing just like jumped up to $3.54. In which case, if I had just like held it for like literally one more second, I would have made $2,600 instead of $700. It brought me to tears. I was not even happy with my trade. I'm just kidding. Profit is profit. Green is green. You should never really complain. about your profits is always just kind of depressing when you think about what could have been. I ended up getting halted, which basically means that there was such an influx of buyers that it couldn't even match a number of sellers to it, so they had to like pause the stock and figure it out. And afterwards, the sort of just started coming back down. So um, you could look to like short these, but at the same time, a lot of them actually continue to like gap up even higher after halts. So I would definitely give it like a minute, or at least like a red, yeah, like a 1 minute red candle before I decide to short anything like that. Maybe if it cracks like below VWAP, something like that, that could be a good indication to short it. I don't really short stocks. I'm just saying, what if I were to short stocks, what I would possibly look for. And now I will just show you guys my order book, which is, oh, you guys just saw my account information. Basically bought in at, I bought 2,280 shares. No, sorry, yeah, I bought 2,280 shares at $2.46, and this was at 8:30, 8:30, and it was 33 seconds at the time. That's where I bought, and at 8:31 exactly, I sold at $2.79. 27 seconds, $731. I don't know where else you can do that, unless you're like fucking Floyd Mayweather and you get paid like per punch or per second in a fight, or unless you're like Bill Gates or the founder of Amazon, which I am none of, and I probably don't even compare to them. I don't even know. I'm like, anyway, for like a normal person, that amount and that much time is a little unparalleled in my opinion, which is why I think day trading is so great. Obviously, you can lose that amount just as easily, just as quickly, but it's all about finding the right strategies to play and looking for volume. Another like one last thing I want to like point to is sort of the daily chart. So when you're looking for stocks to find, obviously when you're in a trade and you're like looking to get into a trade like in the next like couple of minutes, I guess, you obviously want to look at the minute chart. That's sort of just what makes the most sense to me to look at when you're in a trade / when you're like about to get in a trade. But when you're researching stocks to get into, a really good thing that you should look at is the daily chart and the indicators on the daily chart. So I have on here the 500-day moving average, the 20-day moving average, and the 13 EMA. And when the stock gapped up this morning, it was above all of those. It was at $2.30, and you can see here pre-market, it actually came down to $2.15, like right here, $2.16. That was like the lowest they got pre-market. Maybe 215 is where it started the gap up. And you can see on the daily chart that the highest indicator that the price was below at the time was $2.15. So it held that, which was like a really good sign. And then on top of that, there was a ton. I can understand if you didn't want to get into play at the break of the pre-market high, just because that was like $2.40, whereas there was a ton of chart resistance at $2.50. So you can see here it tested 250, couldn't break, tested 250, couldn't break, got this little like false breakout at 250 over here, tested 250 here, couldn't break it, tested 250 here, couldn't break it, tested 250 over here and couldn't break it. So that establishes itself as pretty hefty chart resistance. So what you could have done is waited for it to actually break $2.50, and then it would have been on top of, like, above all indicators and breaking that chart resistance, which would have been a great indication to buy. I think that's all for today. I kind of want to keep this video relatively short. I think I may have already gotten past the point of being able to do that. But, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and stay tuned for more content that I put out there.